a heating unit, right, on the boiler? We got some money for that? I think we'll talk about that until 26. Oh.
Right, yeah, I'm getting there.
I think we're all set up, so we're good.
We're good. Thank you. Okay. First item on our agenda is pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Any changes, additions, or deletions to the agenda? So under 4, we're adding C for the clerk, just in case Karen has anything she wants to surprise us with. And D will be agreement between the Village of Fayetteville and the USDA in regards to deer culling.
The what, DA?
USDA.
I'm sorry, 4A, that's what I meant.
Oh, no, you're fine.
A, B, C, D.
Okay,
We're adding C for clerk.
C and D,
here,
just so it's easier than adding 5A, 6A, whatever.
gotcha.
We'll just add the letters. It's the same contract that they always do. That they always have. Okay, our meeting minutes from 11/24, and Jane sent some corrections out with that.
Yes. So,
I'm going to accept the minutes
Okay.
as edited.
as edited.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I'll second. Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Our abstract number 11 dated today, and that changed just slightly with a couple of numbers that was sent out to us previously.
Yeah, I had a couple more additions for some refunds for New York State retirement. There were adjustments that needed to be made to contributions. To refund to 6 employees. So the total amount of abstract 11 is $114,000, 551 and 83 cents. I think, you want me to say it again?
second,
Seconded and looked at them, retained.
Yeah, I looked at them.
Okay. All in favor? The fire chief is not here. I don't believe he had anything.
He didn't have anything and there's no applications. So
I told him to take the night off, sorry.
no, that's okay. If he didn't have
Yeah,
anything,
he sent us a note on the book.
procurement, yeah, that he looked at it.
Yeah.
So Tyler would be.
Yep, DPW, we have.
He said 36 straight hours.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So DPW, we have our memo and Tyler can talk to that.
I was just have to purchase some more rock salt, about 200 ton at $60.97 a ton for another $12,194.
Hey,
280 so far this season. We're about half full in our salt shed. I just want to stay on top of it before, if we don't want a crisis like last winter, where
right.
so moved.
Second.
Moved and second. All in favor?
And
And other than that, I just want to reiterate, and maybe we can put it on social media again, the street parking from 1 to 7. We had about, the weekends are probably the worst, but we had, I know Thanksgiving also, we kind of tolerated it, but anywhere from 10 to 15 cars throughout the village that are parked on dead ends and in the road. So usually we don't bother too many people or repeat offenders. We're going to start calling the non-emergency line and trying to get them off the road for us, especially with heavy snow.
I think that's a great idea to do that.
Actually, I had it in the back of my mind to do it sooner than later.
I know you put it up once right around November, so
Yeah,
just get it back out there.
I appreciate the tolerance during Thanksgiving week. Our household was one of the.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's always good to make our confessions.
yeah, but I also noticed others were doing the same, but I'm assuming it was unusual to get that much snow.
the Friday.
That
after was-
week.
Yeah, it was
Right.
rough day.
Yeah, so, anyway.
So, I know we talked about it earlier, but just with the information, if anybody happens to be watching or curious, ice skating will be taken care of as it's available to us. We have to have 5 inches of ice, is it?
It's about 6, yeah,
About 6
all the
inches
way
of
around.
ice all
5
the
is
way
big.
around. in order for us to get on and clear it. So people have been on the ice, but it's not really anything that we're maintaining or doing anything until we have
It was
that.
thick, yeah.
Check it daily,
That's
so
3 inches.
we'll be up there every day, kind of just reporting the conditions of the ice. So we get decent enough ice to be out there.
Is it deep in any sections toward the school, at the back?
Not really.
It's really the
I
same.
mean, the far side towards the school does have some that maybe 3 feet deep.
Depends different places.
Yeah, well, you can go down 4 feet with the muff too.
Right.
Some
Feet will
bad.
think a foot, so
How about the dog park? You close that up, right?
dog park is closed, yeah,
Yeah,
we
good.
closed it last week, early in the week.
All right, good.
When we started getting snow, because we don't plow or shovel up there, so I told them, but on that Friday when we were gonna get the snow, that even though it was a week earlier than what we had talked about, I didn't want them having to go up there. You know,
So yeah, it was
trying to do
Tuesday, actually, I think.
a lot of plowing and a lot of other work then to have to go try and fix something and do something.
And there is signage up there. The gates are locked. There's signage up there saying park closed for season. So people do pull in, they'll see that.
Anything else for that?
Thanks to the department.
If you want to just, I don't know if you're staying long, but if you can just stay till after we talk about them. Thing, everybody else says they might have a question or two. Karen, did you have anything that you want to?
No, under vacation buybacks, I'm going to have a request.
Yep.
So for
Okay.
myself as well.
All right.
Or carryover more specifically.
Okay. And then our deer agreement. So each year we contract with the USDA, United States Department of Agriculture for the deer culling. The amount of the contract is $46,645.
We should get that back from the county.
Right, we apply to, the county gives us money towards this.
Okay, I've got to make one comment about it. The town between one of the town council and myself had a discussion and there was a misunderstanding of what took place. So they are we're part of a municipal agreement with them. They use our information, all our paperwork and all that to be part of this deer culling operation. And unfortunately, there was a misunderstanding and they broke that off, but at the next meeting, they will reinstitute it.
Yeah.
So we have an intermunicipal agreement with the town of Manlius in conjunction with this program of deer culling. There's several properties that are close to the village of Fayetteville that are not in the village of Fayetteville where the deer culling has taken place in the past. And so I don't know exactly how to word it. What happened at the
It was a
meeting?
misunderstanding.
No, I know that part of it, but I mean,
It's
like
all-
you didn't renew or you rescinded the IMA or something? That's why I'm not sure of how to say that part of it. But they're gonna reinstitute
It's gonna
that at the
re-
next
re-
meeting or whatever, and so we're still gonna work together with the town on the deer culling.
So Ted might want to take a look at that, but it's no different than the other.
Yeah, so
I think I submitted it to you.
Same.
Or
you might-
received it.
Same.
So with respect to the reimbursement you referenced from the county, is there a process that we follow to get reimbursed? And how does, is that an application process or how does that work?
What we do is, once they give us the final reports, we submit it to the county. This is what it is.
and I thought last year the town paid us something too. Did the town pay part of it?
Yeah.
Too? So the town pays part of
If
it, the
there's-
county pays part of it, the village. pays
If we
part
don't
of it.
get total amount, then
Full amount of
we have it in our
animals?
budget to pay,
No, it's
but
so there's a
Yeah,
total amount of the
I know that.
contract. So if we apply to the county first, whatever the county pays us, then we share it with the town, the remaining balance.
And this contract, I'm just trying to understand the process. This contract is with, who's actually doing the calling? Is the
The USDA.
USDA? Okay,
Yeah.
all right. I get it now. I understand.
Like
That's-
last year.
That's Justin guy, that we've
Right.
been working with him for
Yeah.
same.
all the years that we've been doing the deer
Yeah,
culling, we've
right.
always worked with this Justin gentleman.
Does this contract include all of the town or just particular border area?
The-
All the border areas?
That's,
Well, I guess that's.
well, we can't, yes.
Well, it
Undisclosed
wasn't a
sites.
yes or no question.
Undisclosed locations.
Well, I mean, I believe all the locations are in proximity to the village of Fayetteville, because the village of Fayetteville is the only village within the town that is admitted to having a deer problem.
And
And the town has been willing to cooperate with the village because we don't have as many sites in the village as we initially started out with, because of the distance of how far away they have to be from certain structures in order to do the deer culling. So right now, I don't know how the town feels about it, but basically it's.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm not speaking for the town, I'm just saying, I don't know if they know exactly either, but basically, right now, I believe that all the sites are in proximity to the village of Fayetteville itself, because of the Fayetteville starting this and kind of working, asking to collaborate with the town on sites that are close to the village to make this worth a potentially benefit to the village and things, so.
do we have a number of animals or deer that we want to cull, or is it? Is it just a number of days and whatever happens?
Number of days,
then, number of days,
Yeah.
okay.
And the culling has been, it's been approximately the same, but slight decrease, is that correct?
The numbers
In
of,
Yeah, the
in the village
numbers.
of Fayetteville,
no,
Yeah,
the total number of the total number, oh, so I don't, maybe misunderstand you. The number in the contract that we're paying, or the number of deer that get
Deer,
culled?
number of deer. It's staying pretty much the same, the amount of revenue is staying much the same.
well, in the village of Fayetteville, it's greatly reduced because we started it when we were by ourselves for a few years. So now we don't have as many sites. The town does, so most of them come. So is there a certain number? Yeah, there's no number really. It's just how many they get, then they give us a report on how many they get. And their bill is based, some of their bill is based on that.
Thank you. Helps.
It's worked out good and. You know, at some point I thought, we wouldn't have to ever do it again, but
So it's greatly reduced the amount of roadkill we pick up yearly. We've noticed quite a difference. We used to pick up a lot.
well,
Deer.
only in the last couple of years, we haven't been able to go there. Because of a situation where we don't have a way to get in there.
It's been a dramatic change in my neighborhood and I would say the East End, because we have Green Lakes. So we had a lot of deer just wandering, snacking, and a lot of deaths, I think right outside
We have a
The
lot of
Brookside
them because of
neighborhood.
the cemetery.
a lot of car collisions is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
So the car collisions have come down significantly, I think.
Yes,
Can't remember where I read it. Had to be something.
actually, last year
Hills.
report actually pushes in that on up there. There was a small decline in the number of
Yeah,
years that
yeah.
were taken, but the amount of collisions that were going on had reduced dramatically that were being reported by the town police. And that's really a big deal. We still have our populations is the other thing that's sort of good news for folks too, if you know what I mean.
They are out there,
They're there.
especially 4 in the morning when you're plowing.
I were in my yard the other night when I got home, so.
And then, my husband regularly walks in Green Lakes and we used to see a ton of them and our dog loved it. But we don't see them anymore. So
Because they're
Green
in our
Lakes.
yards.
They want a little
Yeah.
village experience.
Okay, so a motion to enter into this agreement,
So moved.
Second,
moved and seconded, all
I
in
would
favor?
just,
Oh, go ahead.
I would just like to, see it, read it.
We'll give you a copy of
Yeah,
it.
thanks.
Yep. All in favor?
Right.
Fine.
Thank you. I'll make sure Karen goes for the copy. Okay,
I would like to say that the documents that our committee wrote are used throughout the state. Two guys spent a lot of time reading them, did a good job. Everybody grabbed them.
okay, thank you. Next is, we had a discussion at the last meeting about modifying the McIntyre Commons easement on one particular lot where a gentleman that's here this evening that wants to build a house there at some point in time. And so, Mike Jones, went and looked this over and answered a few of our questions that we had at the last meeting. So I've talked to Mike Jones to explain a little bit about this. I don't know if anybody else had a chance to talk to him or if anybody else had questions about.
I responded to his
response.
email late this afternoon, with some questions, so.
Yeah, so, and so you were there with him,
Yeah, we
is
did.
that correct? So that's why Tyler to kind of stay or whatever. So as I just said at the last meeting, the 5-foot setback that is required by the state building codes can be part of that easement. So he can have the easement can go back to the edge of the house. It doesn't have to be 5 feet out from the
Start.
edge of the house. So I don't have that map in front of me, there of where the easement is, but we can move the easement if we agree to this. We can move the easement so that you can build the edge of the house on the edge of the easement, basically. And that still gives you the feet you need to get to the property line. Because we don't own when you have an easement, we don't own the property. We just own the ability to utilize the property. So you can build up to that easement line, but you can't put a deck out over it. You can't put a porch out over it. You can't put something permanently there that we can't get through there. But
Do you
What?
remember the discussion? You can come closer if it's easier to hear. Do you remember you were discussing the map and and there's an example there. So if it helps, he's just reiterating some of the comments. that
so we
made
were
last time.
talking that instead of moving the easement to this line,
Mhm.
last time we talked about keeping it right along here. So this part that you need,
Mhm.
we would give up just this part right here.
Makes it kind of difficult for excavation. That's where currently at the tight point here from the canal, you're 7 feet.
Right.
But I don't. If I continue, and my attorney is questioning why this easement is drawn the way it is. If it's 20 feet, it should be 20 feet, something back in 2013.
Yeah, I could not find anything in the
they
minutes to
should have
help
been.
us understand.
There's notes from McKenzie Law Firm and from Richard Green as to getting this easement established.
Anything that explained why.
My recollection ever so vaguely is it had to do with the terrain and the way.
Right,
the
that's what Mike
canal-
Jones says. It had to do with the terrain and the
So,
stuff that's there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So if the lines were.
So this
tailored
line
to
of the house
terrain.
isn't the line of the house? Is that what you're telling me?
It probably is. Yeah, I would like to see a couple feet so like we can excavate and still get our batter boards in there and not be in conflict there. But, you know, at the end of the day, I'm probably gonna be maintaining all of this here. It's only a 60-foot lot, 52-foot lot.
Mhm.
This is probably all gonna be landscaped and I'll be maintaining it for the village. And it goes back to, you know, I probably brought with this development. There's property taxes of $112,000 a year that I'm
Right,
bringing in
but-
on a vacant lot.
But we
So-
need, we just want to make sure we have access
Yeah,
to this.
yep.
This is part of the original part of the Ledyard Canal, and
Yes.
where there's some concerns about when you do this work, that this
We-
doesn't get compromised.
No.
And that if it does, that you have to fix it for us while you're doing the work, but afterwards, that if something fails, we need to be able to get in there.
Right.
So we want this as tight to this building. That's what we discussed last meeting. I don't know what happened back in those other years,
Right.
but everybody
Mhm.
agreed to it evidently at some point in time. Someone did.
Right.
Maybe not you, maybe it was your predecessor, but we won't go there.
Way less than go there.
We're not going.
I'm just saying that we want as much space here as possible.
Yep.
But Mike and Tyler, when they looked at it today, and Tyler's here,
Mhm.
so what Mike was saying in his email to us today was that right now, this is kind of drops off in different.
The canal shelves right there.
Yeah.
Starts dropping down.
So
So
when you landscape this and do this, it might be a little easier for us to get equipment in there to do stuff. Is that right?
Absolutely.
That's what-
How much room do you need? What kind of equipment?
I mean, probably an excavator, which our tracks are 5 foot, but in 7 to 8 feet to get it through.
That's what we've shown here, 7 feet here. If I could have 7 feet back here, we can reduce the amount that I need. I just need to get the house in here. It's only 1,400 square feet. We can't go much smaller. It's not.
Right, I'm not asking you to go smaller, but at the last meeting, we talked about
Yes.
moving this to here,
Right, and I wasn't,
basically. Now, when you're building, you can have this dug up.
We
This
can.
is, that's your space, right? On an
Yeah.
easement, he can dig
Yeah.
into the easement to
Okay.
build his
Yeah,
house.
you could utilize
just
that.
You
can't-
can utilize it.
you
Okay,
just
so at
can't-
the end of the day.
You just can't build over into
No,
the space.
there's
That's
no-
all I'm saying. Not that you can't utilize it.
Okay,
While you're working on it, you're gonna have to do that.
kind.
If
Yeah, I
you
ju-
were ever gonna have to replace that wall or something or fix it, you're gonna have to dig in there yourself to do that. That doesn't prohibit us
Okay,
from.
no,
having
we won't be
easement.
building on.
So- so does anybody else have questions about this? I know we had some questions before.
I have a very similar position that I had the last time, and I think it's very important. I don't know the past and I don't know the future, but I know that the easement is our responsibility to maintain all along it, that in order for us to maintain the canal. And we are behind in that maintenance, and we are going to try to be taking care of that. We've talked about this for other reasons, starting last December, January. And I'm concerned that we say we need a 7 foot for an excavator, but we are anticipating, we do not know what a failure might look like. So we don't know what we might need. So for us, I understand your individual property concern. But I think for us, we need to think about the long-term consequences of our responsibility to the canal. At this point, it's not clear that it's the best thing for the maintenance of the canal to give up land into the easement. So
Even though we gave it to you originally.
What's the?
So how much is what's this difference here?
Asking back, like, what is the difference in the 20 feet versus what you want?
Well, he wants to give us 7. He wants a 7-foot easement all the way down through here. But this distance,
The red is the original, the current easement line.
yellow,
The old-
what you're proposing.
The orange is what this survey laid out, and that we had the discussion last time. And that's where it came up, the building right to the building line. I'm saying,
Which one do you need?
The one I scribbled over, the little one. Thank you.
I got like the big one. So Like it is you.
What's this?
This one.
What,
This corner and that.
It's gotta be, this is 7 feet. And I'm saying at the end of where we would like to get an easement abandonment would still continue to be 7 feet at the narrowest point. It just gives me a little latitude.
I
We're
know
not
why,
building-
why you want
Yep.
it, so that's fine. Thank you for trying.
And this is what you didn't have last time, and that's what I was.
And what everyone's questioning is why we did this jog. I remember it being at 20 foot. Tyler, remember? It was,
not that I want.
We never
I want you to
accessed
be able to
that
see it.
side.
I want you to see it. I
We
don't.
never accessed that side of the canal.
I didn't know there was
We've
stuff
always
there.
accessed it from Clinton Street on the inside. The
You
last
don't-
time we
you
rebuilt
don't-
the wall all the way down, we came from Clinton Street and down the inside behind the current condos, which we still have access to. There's some, obviously some tree growth.
So you
that
don't-
We have come out of now.
Yeah, you don't expect, you didn't access this whole side.
Without some serious grading and excavating now, we couldn't even access it with our machine. It's pretty rough
That-
terrain and
I
it's a
for that.
steep
It'd
drop
be-
off, so.
Not the side, and that's why we actually took more on the other
We
side.
rebuilt the entire other side with large stone all the way down,
Yeah.
probably 10 years ago or more. The outside, we did a little bit of maintenance. We did some parging to the existing concrete, but we never accessed the far side. Up top anyway, we did down below towards Mill Street.
Can I ask you a question?
Terrain drops off pretty
So
quick.
the yellow is where you're proposing, or that's
Yeah,
where you're
that's what
proposing?
that's what I would, and we're still not building the building wall.
Oh, neither.
Why can't
That's
you
the building.
propose it to the building footprint?
That's what Mike's suggesting, right?
But the reason I'm
Right.
asking that is because
Then it gives us this little bit more space
nobody,
there.
your building is gonna be at more risk than we are. If the grade is that bad, if there is
Well,
failure.
he's obviously gonna
he's-
grade it into where, yeah, he's got a lot
Yeah.
of grading and excavating to do to get that foundation.
I'm okay giving you, I'm okay modifying, I don't have a different colored pen, I'm okay, I'm just speaking for me. I'm okay modifying our easement to match your building footprint. Okay? And the reason is I think I understand this right, Ted and the mayor, that while they're putting in the building, they're gonna move into our easement even more.
Yeah.
They're gonna turn it up, fix it up, square it up.
Yeah.
But once it's all said and done, I'd like the easement to run, a foot off of the building.
Yeah, they're authorized to utilize that space to do what they need to do.
Right.
Only in the event of a canal failure, could we pull the trump card and say, get your crap out of the way, we gotta come in there now.
That's
But-
all, but you're doing it.
Yeah, but when you're done, you'll be back to, it'll just be
So just get this measurement. and then
unapproved property, so.
Go one foot off of
I
the
don't think-
building.
To me, it makes it.
Modifying
clear.
these-
I don't want to get into
Conversation.
Construction of the house, you still get to use all this space. To do what you need to do while you're building this.
You see what we're talking about?
Yeah, I know exactly.
Okay.
Can I have an explanation for what the yellow line is?
So the yellow line is what he's proposing. He would like us to modify the
And the orange?
easement. to-
John, is this the yellow line you're talking about right here?
This-
Here, for the whole space,
The
Yeah,
red,
no,
just this line right here?
just still maintaining you got 7 foot originally with the current easement line, 7 foot at the narrow point. And I'm saying, if I can have this here, you still have the 7 feet. You know, if you can't get through there in 7 feet, you have to maintain it from Clinton Street, from Beach Street. On this side. If you can't get up the hill from the down below.
It's Beach Street on here.
But,
Here?
and- but,
We're talking-
Beach Street is right there.
Through here.
Okay, sorry,
So
yeah,
this is Beach
okay,
Street.
now I'm oriented.
There's all kinds of easements.
This is where he,
Into
we have 20
the.
feet all the way to here, but I
We know where they
I
are.
think I have a total.
just a minute, right,
You
right.
can't get-
Oh, there you go.
There's a copy of that. I know where 5 and 6 are. Yeah. About the gardens there.
I'm one of them.
You can't get a
Well,
machine.
in the
I
back,
got fence.
you're back,
Yes.
but that's a right of way, that's
Right here?
not. It was a right of way.
20 feet in the street.
It was,
No, that fence.
But this, and this entrance is currently like.
it was, it was
All right,
a
wait.
street,
All right, so we can't hear what's going on over there, so.
it's called a coal alley.
Yes.
So this is where we're really looking for, line is what we're talking about. So you're basically, we're giving up this here. This building is not currently built, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
So if you look at just at the red line of, if you're looking where it says 44 feet for the house. And then you see the red line where,
With you, Mike.
44 feet.
Okay.
see where the red line is that's jogged in there for the corner?
Yeah.
So currently, if I'm reading this correct, the red line, if you look from the street down here where it says Beach Street coming down. The widest spot that we have is 7 feet right there.
The narrowest.
The narrowest spot, I'm saying, yeah,
Yeah.
okay? So when it get to that point, the property on the right of that red line is not in our easement. So what he's saying is 7 feet is the widest we have to get through there without going on private property or getting permission to go on that private property.
Not following. I thought this was where we have our access.
Well, you have to follow. It's 20 feet here. And it narrows to 7 feet here.
Why,
Right.
Currently,
why are we?
then it goes
using
back
that
to
in
20
back
feet here.
turns?
So isn't there the
I
kind of,
see why.
this,
Because it
thank you,
turns.
because this is easier to understand
Yeah,
the conversation
I
last time.
apologize. I should-
But if we have a section between here and here, that's only 7 feet.
Correct.
And we have some kind of serious maintenance, but now we have a larger section in which. Potential equipment would have to be going in here. And if there was a need to do any work, that would be.
But
So,
what he's,
and yellow is proposing, orange is what?
Orange was my proposal 2 weeks ago.
Oh, so it's a
And-
past proposal.
Yeah.
No longer on the table.
No, take that off and squeeze it down, still
Right, but
maintaining.
So what you're doing, you're squeezing this down, so this is gonna be the current line on this?
Yes,
then?
yes.
Okay.
but here's what I'm saying. We're coming in this easement here, right? we get, this is not anything to do with the village right here.
Correct,
So we have 7 feet here.
correct.
So if we can't get our equipment through that 7 feet, it doesn't matter if we have 50 feet here
That's right. It's
as an
exactly-
easement.
We can't.
If you
we
want to
can't
look at
use
it realistically, we only have 7 feet that we can get through here. This easement is right here, that's 7 feet. So it doesn't matter if we have 20 feet, 30 feet, 10
So
feet.
this would be at the tightest point down here is
So-
another 7 feet.
So
right?
this would be another tight point, but if we wanted to move it over and just compromise this proposed line and say, well, we'd like to see it like a foot or 2 feet, or I don't know how far that is, but it's gotta be more
What
than,
is the measurement there?
what's the distance you have away from the house now, like 5 feet?
Currently
think?
5 feet, yeah. So
Okay, so if we take 3 feet of that and leave you 2 feet, that gives us at least a little bit more room right through here and down at this 7 feet. So, but we still can only have 7 feet to get in there initially. And
initially, and you'll probably end
Unless
up
we
with
get-
8 feet,
unless
that'd be
we
any
get-
kind of truck or excavator that you would.
unless we get permission from whoever owns the property to go on their property. Outside of the easement, I'm saying, as a one-time deal, you know, an agreement that we would come to, can we use your property to get in here with this equipment? That's what I'm saying. So we only have 7 feet.
In reality, the only thing you'd be getting in there would be excavator and even a
Right.
dump truck. It
Probably
would
not
still
even
be
a-
down a road.
probably not even a
8 foot,
dump truck, right, yeah.
It would fit.
Yeah.
So we're not cutting anybody up, but again, we won't be building out past that.
Here's a 7.
Right, no, that's,
You're
I'm
gonna
trying to
have-
make it,
Here.
right, I'm trying to make it like realistic in your mind as to how, it's not just to say that we're giving something up because we're not really giving much up based upon what's already decided to do. And what you already agreed to. And
I'm cool. I'm cool, you know, I don't know the measurements, but
Yeah.
we're talking
Yeah.
feet.
yes, you're okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I know exactly.
I know many other places that we have right away.
So does somebody want to make a motion to have Ted and his lawyer work on
Like,
modifying?
is there any other questions? Did you have any questions?
Yes,
You have with respect to this?
yes, yes.
Please, Craig.
Okay, thank you.
I knew this is where we were here for.
Exactly. How you doing? Craig Fulhamus, 114 East Genesee Street. I am just one property away from your proposed location. I'm here.
Backyard.
My backyard is about 100 feet from your property. Okay, so the first question I got is, there's a lot of confusion over the nature of this. If you look at the zoning map over there, it's zoned industrial. It's never been updated. If you look online on the zoning map, it is a planned unit development.
Right.
And if you look on the county database, it's R1.
God help us.
Just saying.
Yes.
And if you look at the draft
We made it. We
zoning
made it
map
part
from
here.
EDR, it is planned unit development as well.
That's what it is.
That's
That's
what
what
it-
village designated it. So I don't know what's on.
I
any place
remember
else.
that.
That's from 08,
It's-
that's why, an old map.
Yes.
What is it?
So beyond that,
What's it got to do with the easement? Let's get to
well,
the easement.
okay, the easement. I remember those meetings back in the day. And a lot of this had to do with the topo of that area
Right.
and how we were able to get into it. And I noticed the proposed plan lacks the topo, so it's hard to really understand where the canal is versus the other areas. Oh, okay, that would be helpful, but at the scale we can see, there's a steep grade.
Steve, correct.
Yeah, so I believe that is the answer to why the geometry was shaped the way it was. It was based on the recommendation of engineers that looked at the topology. So one
Let
recommendation,
me stop
Yeah.
right there. Why would they have moved it down to 7 feet when it should have been 20 feet? Could have been 20
it
feet.
could have been, but
Could've
they
been.
had a
It was
justification.
approved. Right. There was a reason that it was approved to put a unit.
My recollection, having served on the planning board when that decision was made, is that because of the topographical challenges on, which just means it's steep slopes on the side of the canal that we're all focused on, we collectively agreed to give more easement on the south side of the canal for complete access up and down, but still have easement on the north side of the canal for kind of for access, but maybe not necessarily heavy equipment access. So that's my recollection, but
Right.
Would you just go through the north and south side of
I
that?
always screw up my sides.
Actually,
North
you're
side and
never
the other
correct.
the other side.
She's right.
South is this way,
Right.
north is. the
Yeah,
side
no,
where
I know,
it's empty.
I know, and I'm just saying,
You had her.
the fact that it's a steep grade there,
Yeah.
why would it have been narrow? This is a
no,
little bit prior to my time.
Well,
because we needed some access.
Correct.
This is that.
So the question is, why give any easement if it's such a steep grade? We can't have any, I mean, you can go out 20 feet, you still have problem accessing the canal because of the steep grade. So we went to the other side. We're all working on a fuzzy
Yeah.
recollection process right here. So
And I'm not trying to make life difficult,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get.
Yeah.
1400.
I think we can get past the why and get to what we're gonna do in the future.
So your
so
question.
my
back to your-
recommendation would be to look at the topography,
Mhm.
have an engineer reevaluate this to make sure we're not making a mistake in the future. Second is the canal, which is a historic resource. We have it designated.
Mhm.
And we have a proposal to do a engineering review of not only what's there, but how to maintain it, how to preserve it. I don't want to give up as a village access to whatever corrective action may be needed in the future to maintain this historic resource. So I don't object to a house being built. I just object to compromising the integrity of the canal, because in the end, it needs to flow.
Well, come here.
Yeah.
For a second. Can you come here?
Sure.
So here it is. This is the original easement that was given to this property. This red line.
Understand what he's
Yeah.
doing.
Look at this map though. Don't look at you can look at that if you want.
Well, this
I'm
is
telling you what
tax
to do.
map. That's why
Okay. I'm telling you, this is where the easement is that was originally given to this piece of property,
Mhm.
okay? This is the easement for the
So this
village.
is the spot we're talking about.
So as you're coming down the original easement, right here, you have 7 feet
Mhm.
from the edge of the canal to where the easement is. And then, for whatever reason, the easement jogged over to here and then went straight down this way. So the proposal is that if the village can only access the canal 7 feet right here without permission of this particular property owner, whoever it's going to be, we have 7 feet to get in here.
Mhm.
We don't have 8 feet, we don't have 10 feet, we don't have 20 feet.
So this and going to.
He's proposing that if we go down, if we angle this down this way, match the canal. That we still will have 7 feet, this whole distance, 7 feet. We don't have any more than 7 feet here or 7 feet there.
We like to run on.
Here versus here.
It doesn't matter,
Doesn't matter.
because we only have 7 feet legally. We don't have,
At this point, but it may be that this opens up, so that was gonna be a.
I think,
I'm not gonna try to explain what the
This is.
engineers.
Everything's ready.
well, I'm not either. So we had our DPW superintendent walk the property to see what was going on there and see what we needed.
This is 7 feet and this is.
I took a couple aerial photographs. So we're trying to see.
This is.
Coming close.
Right.
Because this is.
So the grade from here, but
And this
and
is-
on that, which is,
This
shows
this is like this line.
distinct slopes. And you
No,
can see
sorry,
that point where it opens
No,
out.
no, you agree.
No,
Very
just,
Yeah.
I don't care
And
about
so
that. It's fine.
My thinking is that it was probably narrow.
I like
and
going
where it
to.
was convenient
the
to access
footprint.
and then it widened
It's like,
out.
I just, they can't,
as the slope changed.
you know.
But I'm not
it's
gonna,
fine.
I'm not gonna try to second guess the engineer's determination. There's another view of it.
Maybe here.
It's a little off. but you can see the canal coming through the property line.
This is seven.
So the easement
Yeah.
boundaries are kind of understandable. So my other point would be, as an architect and most recently a code enforcement official, I could foresee this house being redesigned to allow up to the easement line, because Mike Jones is correct. You can build up to the easement line. The easement is there for future access.
But this
Yeah.
house. There's a 2-foot variance offset, 2 foot
That's
on the
a,
map,
that's a surveyor.
that's 2 foot, and I've got 2 foot.
So that's
I had 2 foot. I'm trying to accommodate codes enforcement by giving them 5 feet.
well, on New York State code, we need 5 feet for
Yeah.
fire separation.
Right, so it doesn't have that.
Side.
Yeah.
So it's all past
But
history.
if
but
this
that's-
was flipped and it came out here, it could
Mhm.
come all the way back here, then problem is solved.
Well, not exactly, but. you
Well,
have a little
if
less.
this bump out was on this side and that was that side,
We're
I don't know
We're
the-
we're only 1,400 square feet.
I know, it's tight.
Small
tight.
house.
And I'm not
it's a
trying
tight
to
lot.
deny you the
Okay.
ability to build on it.
Right.
I just want to make sure we preserve the canal. That's my
I hear you, I hear you.
intent.
I hear you.
I'm not here to
Yep.
shut it down. I'm just saying. We're going into winter right now. I don't foresee you moving dirt between
April.
now and,
April.
yeah, April. We have time to study this a little bit more. I guess that's all I'm,
Well, if I have my
Suggest-
DPW superintendent who would be doing the work on the canal, if there was a problem, telling me that it's okay, then I'm okay with what he's telling me.
May I say something to that?
Did we have an engineer look at this when we were doing this, or did we just do this as a
No,
planning
yeah.
board?
The time that the
Didn't-
PUD was granted, we had to have engineers involved and,
and that's what determined the lines, if I remember.
well, I'm not challenging your memory. I'm just.
Okay.
I am sure that they had influence on the lines.
I know there was a lot of discussion on the other side of the line, where
Yeah,
the canal came down through here and the pipe across the road and the geometry, the sharp turn
I'm-
here and how buildable that was, which I debated at the time. And it seems like that never got built for good
So-
reason.
For the cost of about $400,000.
Yeah.
To the village, which we were supposed to do, which we didn't press. Didn't go to court for it, but we were supposed to get 2 more units here, and it would have cost the village a ton of money. So I'm just trying to
Yep.
play nice here a little bit in this happens.
but I'd like to, and then I know you want to comment. Would you like to comment first? Thank you, Craig, for
Yeah.
your input. We
Thank you.
appreciate that.
And again, the proposal on the canal has not been put forward to
And that's
have that
not me.
engineering analysis
Yep.
done. So
Yep.
we're kind of flying blind.
We got a problem there, though. That
Well,
could be,
that won't
that could be
happen by
years.
April.
We don't know when that's going.
Thank you again for your
Concerns?
comments and your concerns. They're valid. But I think now we have a board that would like to react to some of this. So I'm gonna let
I'm
Casey.
gonna sit down. I'm here to answer any questions
Thank
dealing
you.
with that.
Appreciate it. Casey,
So for as long as the village has been in existence, 1844, we have had some responsibility to the canal. I'm not gonna go into all the history, but I've read it and it's very convincing. So when we make decisions as a board, we have to make decisions based on what has happened and what we project. And in terms of projections, it doesn't matter that it's you currently, because this, we're making a decision beyond your lifetime and beyond all of our lifetimes, what we're sending into the future. And I'm gonna bring up climate change. We have changing conditions that would make that narrow piece, especially now that I'm hearing about the grading and the gravel and all that stuff, that, makes me a little more concerned than I was. Not having been able to walk this property, but from the topographical maps and the photos and the inclines, it's more problematic to me. And if something can be done where we don't have to change the easement line, which was hearing a little bit of architectural talk, that could possibly happen. I think that is the best way that we as a board make the decision for the future based on the preservation and maintenance now versus one house.
So Mike Jones, when I talked to him, as far as, because I'm hearing slopes, drop offs, this, that, and other thing. His opinion was, from walking the property and looking at the property, was that what this construction will do will eliminate some of that and make it easier for access to get to the canal to fix it, rather than leaving it the way it is currently and not having that accessibility to it.
I like Craig's idea. Our code enforcement officer is not an engineer. I think having an engineer look at this particular section and helping for us to understand what the future may look like, what is a reasonable decision or choices
At an
that we
expense
could
to the
make.
village, we'd like to do that.
I have a suggestion here. Ted,
Yes.
we're looking at one lot in a PUD with several lots. In this one lot, so this is my problem. I'm gonna do a little ping pong here. My concern is we're looking at this absent the rest of the PUD. We don't have the board, I haven't had the benefit of looking at the full layout. Part of what's causing me problem is I think what's happening also is we're not looking at both sides of the canal. The concerns about we need to protect the integrity of the canal, so on and so forth. I think it is being protected, but then, I've got history here. I was there when we laid this out. That was the entire intention of laying this out. So I think the board deserves to see the full layout of this PUD. I know you have it. We don't have it yet, but I'm going back to Ted now. Because it's a PUD, which was a legislative action by the board to approve, and the easement had to have been part of that PUD, doesn't that kick us back into needing legislative action to change the easement?
As I'm sitting here, I do not recall if the easements were part of the
PUD.
approval of the PUD.
Okay. All right, well,
Just, I don't recall.
yeah, we all need to get back
I
to,
mean, it obviously got approved through the planning stage. I don't know that this board, however,
All this board does is approve the PUD. It doesn't approve it approves the PUD. It doesn't approve the buildings. It approves the
that it does
density and
accept the
it.
easements.
wait. I need clarity on that. When you
That's what I'm
approve,
trying to do.
I know, I'm sorry. When a PUD is approved, there is footprints of where the buildings are going to go. And how do those footprints get adjusted if they're being adjusted or amended after approval of the PUD? That can happen through the planning board?
Yes.
Okay, all right, well, that's my clarity. Thank you. Got that.
No, I was trying to ask the same thing, but
Yeah.
or clarify that, because I thought that when we have approved different PUDs, because we did one, or
And a
started
few.
a little couple of other ones, that we just approved the site as a PUD, but the planning board had the
Okay.
final things about
Okay.
all the details within that PUD.
Okay,
But
all
I
right.
could have been
so
wrong.
that may clean up the legality of it. I think for us to make our decisions on your request, we need to see how that canal can be accessed on both sides. For us to be arguing over 7 feet versus 8 feet versus 10 feet is kind of like, I don't know, playing with a cookie recipe.
Can you show us
Doesn't make any
But back
sense.
in '93, when McIntyre Paper owned it, there
Yeah,
was no easement.
that's right.
There was no easement.
That's right. I
Then
think,
somebody gave the village the easement.
yeah, that's right. And now it's
Now-
not, we can't go, look, we gotta move forward here. We
Can,
tried
can you show us, do you have something that shows us the site? That you can draw the red line on either side of where the easement is, or can Ted do that for us, or somebody do that for us that was gonna show us? I don't have your map.
This
If you-
is a PUD met.
Okay,
These lots, this one, that's a lot, we don't know if these lots.
right, so I,
This is lot, no, I can't, it's fine.
right, so what we're looking for is, where's the easement on this side of the canal? That's what.
20 feet. 20 feet, 20 feet. So you've got
So
20 feet.
you have 20 feet all the way
All the
down
way
the
down.
other side of the canal.
Which is questionable how you get to it, but you do have easement.
Well,
Here we are right now.
and this-
we go through, we go between two buildings.
Right, but there's a lot of.
I
resets.
think it's,
Matthew's
Come up
point, I
the
have
street.
Or we can come up or
Come up
whatever.
the street.
How do you get in on the south side?
Right. This is where we are right.
Between the house off of Clinton Street, there's
Yes.
some cedar trees there.
Yeah.
There's quite a decent sized access, I'd say at least.
So we have
25
20 feet on the south side,
Come
all
along
the way,
the
the
whole
whole
inside.
length of
Any,
the.
any work that DPW has done to the canal prior has been on that side.
one more question for you, sir. People are bringing up the need for an engineer. Do you have at your disposal, since you're in the process of developing this, an engineer or equivalent, professionally equivalent, like the site construction, somebody who knows what they're talking about here, who can explain the impact? Because I think this is what people are getting at. It's not so much that we need
It's not the distance as
That-
much as the impact of what the
that
distance
house
might
right
be.
there.
Right.
It's the impact of that house right there to the canal and the movement of earth right there. And again, I don't know what the scale is here. That's 3 feet by, I don't know, 10 feet. What impact does that have? What are we talking about here? And it could be a big deal, it could be negligible. We just don't know. And so everybody's a little nervous about saying, yeah, go ahead, when we don't really know. I mean, we're all, I think, very interested in protecting the canal. We're very interested in allowing this construction or this development to go forward. It's been approved, it's been reviewed, but this tiny piece here is giving us all a little agita. If you've got somebody who's already done the site grading and they can show, are you gonna do site grading? How's that gonna work out for you?
Not trying to hold you hostage.
No.
Right before the horse.
That's hostage, we'll be holding you hostage.
That's what I don't want to be.
I know,
No, that's the cart before the horse.
Quick
yeah,
suggestion,
yeah.
if here's the topo on something that's scalable, you can graphically show it on this, and then we answer some of these questions.
So can I ask you one more question?
I do it
Lana,
all
you
the time.
standing right here? Sure. Look at here. So this is 7 feet here,
Yep,
our
yep.
existing,
Yep.
correct?
Correct,
You're saying our proposed would be 7.
correct.
Okay. Yeah, I thought that was the whole time, but that's.
That was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I got it now, so that's.
So I think, I have a question for the board members. If you had access to the approved plan and you could see where the full set of easements are on both sides of the canal, would that help you in your decision making?
Let me answer. From my point of view. I don't feel like I have
It's on both sides.
Yeah.
So you don't need to see the map.
I know they're there.
Okay.
I mean, I go over there.
My question is I'm sitting here because the easements have been in place for quite a while,
Yeah.
30 years. And almost, yeah, we're in 25 and they were done in 13, 17, somewhere in there. Okay,
Oh, wow.
that's because that's what
It's fine. That's
this,
fine.
this outlines it as
Just can't believe
2017.
I'm not that old. Yeah, how could that happen?
Okay.
Jason, it.
But anyway, the other part is they're in place and I'm trying to understand why we need to change it. Because they were in place when you purchased the lot, et cetera, also. So it's not like when you purchased the lot, they were all in place. Is that correct?
I think the answer is because he needs 5 feet.
Billy goes, no, when we purchased it,
When did you purchase it?
it was a long drawn out deal, 12-13, but there was no easement at the time.
Right. But
Then we
that's the
gave
natural progress
then
of
we
what goes
gave-
on.
Right, then we gave the easement.
And you gave the easement, and now we're supposed to be in position, forgive me, I know you gave it, thank you, but I'm not gonna give it back to you ordinarily, it's
Just a little bit.
I know it's a little bit, but I'm not gonna give a little because it's more than a lot.
Like, why do you need the little bit? What happened?
Why
to
wasn't the
this
house
lot?
designed in order to fit within the easement?
Yeah, somebody else.
That's my problem. You know what the easement is already, then the house should be developed, designed in order to fit within the easement. Because that's what the property is. It's not like we're looking at, and we also know that that easement most likely be set because of a geographical situation. I don't have the answer for that. I'm not the engineer that can tell me that or anything else. So I don't have the information to tell me that. But I do know that this was designed in a particular way in order to solve some type of problem. And I don't know what that problem was. That problem also could be a great detriment to you if you build that property within that easement also, because we're trying to protect not just the Ledger Canal, but also the people associated with that, close to it. So that's the other piece that goes with it. And the engineers are looking at that. That's not my responsibility. And that's why I won't give my responsibility to that and say that it's okay to do that. And I'm sincere about that because I just don't know enough. You already knew that the easement was where it was. You already knew you couldn't build within it, but we've got a design that goes right over the easement, and I don't know why.
We had a design for the 2-foot setback. And then
Excuse
they
me.
came up to the 5-foot. I have a previous survey from the land. It fits on there inside the existing easement. Till we requested to move it 5 feet.
You have addition, well, your problem is you can only go, the lot is only so big to begin with, and with the easement, you only can build in a certain area. You can't build in the easement, you can't build
It's not our-
within your setback. So I don't know why this is such a difficult thing. And forgive me, I appreciate what you're trying to do. But I'm gonna get tougher and tougher about this because I'm looking at and saying, here's the rules that are written on this property. And you're basically coming forward and say, I wanna go beyond that. I don't know why that rule was written for that, but I believe that there is some purpose for that. That's the other piece that I don't know. Okay? And so that's my problem.
We,
Jack, do you have any idea why it was written like that?
the engineers would know.
The zigzag easement thing,
Yeah,
like I mentioned before, my favorite
Just because of the
recollection
terrain.
is they tailored it to the topography.
Yeah.
In what they figured was actually usable space.
Yeah.
who was the engineer?
Gosh, I can't
Probably
remember.
garden.
I don't think so. They would have been for the village reviewed what, it was either prudent or. We could find out, right? The engineers are on there.
Who
Could-
theirs was or who
Huh?
ours was?
Well, both.
Yeah.
CHA or Scott Freeman, couple
Couple
Freeman.
Jim Freeman.
Freeman
Yeah,
would be the
that's
architect.
what this.
Who's the architect? Did he use? Who's the guy who's, what's his?
Rudy,
Oh, Bonnie.
I'm sorry.
No, he's single,
Swinkles.
single, he's not single anymore. I got his face.
Yeah.
Yes,
Looking at it.
Matt.
I
So Matt Naparello.
don't know.
My thinking is if we had the ability to, talk to the engineers who worked on this, to draw the line. We all have whys that we can't answer. And if we could get some of those answers versus guess, I mean, we're all giving good educated guesses, but we are guessing. And understand the why the request is being made. We then have what's really pushing this request, then we have a little bit more to.
Now we can see if we can make any adjustments.
Yeah,
Based
right.
upon.
Yeah, because I don't know the logic behind it. I also know that this is the way it was set up for the key print for when you're looking at trying to build a property. It's already there.
Right.
And I'm basically, I
No,
don't.
I
wanna be in
don't
a
disagree
position-
with what you're saying.
I know.
I mean, I'm just saying, that's a good point to bring up and to say
This
that.
5 foot New York State code thing was alive back then. I can't.
It
I don't-
wasn't.
Is this-
Well, I mean, it was designed, but,
You can reduce it, but you have to fire rate the wall.
You have to do what?
Have to have a fire rated wall. It's
Was this-
mainly
is
for fire
this-
Separation.
Is this 5 foot New York State code requirement, was it active when this was being done?
So-
Okay, all right, so that's not a change.
It's active now in the 23 code, I believe it was two. I think it goes
This
all
was
the way
prior to
back.
215.
Yeah,
So was there a change in 215?
not to my knowledge.
All right, well,
Easy enough to figure out. I can come back with that information. I have all the code books going all the way back.
lucky you.
Actually, no, I don't know about that. Actually, he does. I know he does.
I got the yellow book.
I know who to
I
ask.
can go back.
so the direction we want to take then, just to kind of wrap this up. So the direction that we want to take is we do want to look at who did this engineering originally. Everybody in agreement for that? Or
Yes.
disagreement? I want to know.
I mean,
So
I'm willing, because here's the point. I want him to be able to be satisfied if possible, but I also want to know the answer to the question so that we're not shooting ourselves in the foot.
Okay, so let's look at who the engineers were that originally designed this and see what their recollections are, if they have any about it, as to why this is. And then we will know from that information going forward, what else we might have to ask for or look for, or look at. I mean, does that sound reasonable to everybody? We're not gonna act on this?
Yes, because I'm
Until
not
it gets-
qualified in order to
Right.
answer the question for him.
I would also like, if possible, to get a copy of the full plan.
Yes.
So that I can see it and understand where the easements are. I think the comments about having access.
That narrow easement that he's proposing, if the integrity of the canal is compromised, whose responsibility would that be?
Yeah.
As he's building it.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if you're digging the foundation within 7 feet, that bank it does curve there, so.
Point of clarification, the easement, the building is not the building wall, but the foundation or cantilever of the roof. The closest point would be to that easement line. So like if you got a 1 foot overhang, you gotta be at least 1 foot back from that easement. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's why I was asking, because the other feet on the yellow. Actually, just so we're not filled out.
Yeah.
The foundation is there, but there will be a little.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't want to bring it back to that.
But the cautionary thing is the hydrology there is really unique.
Okay. Sorry, very good. Oh, no, Casey had a comment. I'm sorry, Casey.
Jane, you had mentioned getting the full layout of the PUD, so we could look at both sides, so could we add that to the to-do list of what we're going to do? And I think that that's probably it. Mark's question I thought was important. If you're the property owner and you're looking at this and you see in your drawing, red line, why didn't you design a house that fit within that? Because you still have space to the rear, if you're talking about square footage.
We did. Fine. Well, 2 foot building setback, that was originally approved. It was a 2 foot building setback on the north side. Also designed to fit in. Try to accommodate building codes and with 5 feet, I'm moving over 3 feet.
But on the west side, if you, was a different, on the west side, you have room to go back and you can make up that room and maintain that. You could actually do the jog out there instead of doing the jog out on the other side. I mean, the design basically shows me I want to do a jog out, but you basically put it on the wrong side versus where the easement is in place. And because you put the jog on the other side, it tells me I want to take that place up in the easement instead of where you actually have property that's available for.
Well, he was still, no, I don't know, but it still lose a little bit of that easement space there.
That's what this shows me. That's not, yeah, but this is imposed, I think.
So what, before we end. I just want to share this thought I have, so you can hear it in advance. If my recollection of the easements that we have on this property. Prove to be true when they see the PUD. I think we have plenty of easement to protect the canal. That's my thinking right now. And with that thought, as long as we can get assurances, which we have received some tonight already from DPW, from codes. I want to talk to the engineers who were involved at the time. I get assurance that this steep topography is not going to be degraded with your proposed footprint, then I don't see why we need that. I don't see why we can't give you these, the adjustment in the easement. I'm not as concerned about what was agreed to however many years ago. I am concerned about why we agreed to it however many years ago, and I want to know that why. And then what you're proposing, as long as that's not going to cause any kind of, or challenge the integrity of the canal, that's the key. Then I'm comfortable giving up the easement because we have plenty of easement on the other side to do what we need to do. So that's just where I'm at.
And if the problem that where the canal might need to be repaired is on this side.
If the canal,
We just go take our equipment into the canal to get to the other
It's
side?
not that wide.
it's not that wide,
Yeah, we would get a bigger excavator and reach across.
Right.
Like we
Right.
did that before, the last time.
actually, I think that,
Frankly, they
Yeah.
haven't been able to use this side of an
Right.
easement because of the way it is
Right.
currently.
right,
And the development of this lot is
Yeah.
going to
Improve that.
improve that
Access.
access.
Right.
I'm not saying that,
So from the
That-
DPW standpoint, that's all I was worried about is access to the canal.
Right.
I'm not an
we
engineer,
have.
that side,
Right.
obviously. But we have access to what we are able to maintain.
Yeah, so Casey, there's your answer. And I kind of knew that because of all of the discussions we had very early on with this project. The canal's not that wide. And so the key is that I just want to pick the brains of the engineers.
Yeah,
Why?
So I could restate my thoughts and everything at this point and say what my position is probably gonna be, but I want the information to
Yeah.
look at.
well, I think before we really make decisions, we should have the information.
Yeah.
Anyway, great.
Yeah.
That's how we got to where we are today,
All
at
right,
this moment in time, yes.
good. Okay. So we will start researching this as fast as we can and get back to you about it.
If you have any information on this, John, as far as the canal, this by research, this would be wonderful. Thank you. I'll say that up front because I know what you want to do. And if you have additional information, please let us know so that we can actually work backwards on this and to understand why it was done that way. Okay? Thank you.
Greg, do you still have one? Somebody's.
I think we're good.
Did you have a pen, John?
PUDs of those.
Oh, you got it, okay.
You know,
Got an extra pen.
out here,
We're going
and
fast.
we know exactly where we are. So much better.
Okay,
I have not enough detail.
thank you. We'll get back to you as soon as we can.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is the procurement policy review. So Ted took a look at this and he has some things I'm gonna pass around. So we're not gonna decide something tonight because it's gonna take a little longer maybe perhaps. But this just kind of, from what I'm reading, Ted, this kind of cleans up the language of the procurement policy. It doesn't really change the procurement
Correct.
policy in any
Yeah.
way,
Oh,
shape or form.
95% cosmetic.
Right.
Does it,
35% what?
Cosmetic.
okay, does this match to what, Chief Hilbert was talking about also for those things that he put
So
in?
that's one thing that he sent to an email, which is not in here just
I
yet.
haven't got yet incorporated that. I was
And
gonna
that-
look
Okay,
at
I was just curious, because I know that's a valid point that the
Yep.
chief made, so I was.
So the point is that we buy stuff off, if I understand it right, Ted can correct me or Karen if I'm wrong, but we buy stuff off a state and county contract now. because they've already done the research as far as the lowest bid and all that kind of stuff, so we can buy that without going out to bid sometimes. We just buy because they, like salt through the county. And there are some other avenues of people that are recognized where we can buy off of their bids.
Yeah,
that
other
exist, other
organizations that have been
organizations.
approved by the state.
And so.
But you can always do you.
You can always put it out to bid yourself.
Yeah.
Right, I'm
Right.
not saying that,
And then
this
go
just
back.
opens opportunities to
And then
look at
go
other
back and
people
check.
that have already done the
And
research and the
It's
bid.
crucial.
Right, yeah,
So-
you're not required to buy off the state.
No, that's crucial. So.
Right.
Yeah.
The other
If we-
thing,
Are you thinking we would list the specific companies? Or we would say something more generic?
No,
that
no,
they
no.
would be on a state list at the time we're making a decision.
no,
The chief was
State
thinking,
approved.
yeah, the chief was thinking of more generic language,
Okay,
for organizations approved by the state. He did give us the name of two outfits
yes.
he's utilized, but he suggested that we keep the language generic if we could.
and if there's others that happen that we want to
Yeah,
look at,
right.
we could always look at others, not just limit ourselves to one or two.
Those are all kinds of.
Um,
Depending upon what you're looking for.
Right. The other thing to take into consideration, and I guess we'll just mention it for tonight, but we're not gonna decide it tonight, is the idea that costs of items have increased significantly since this original procurement policy. I did call NICOM about that in regards to our up to $1,000 purchase without going out for bid, say, or asking for verbal quotes, because right now it's verbal quotes after $1,000. The departments that this would affect mostly would be the DPW and probably the fire department because of the purchases for repairs and items and things like that. NICOM, when I talked to the person at NICOM about this, said that we can increase that limitation if we wanted to. We should always err on the side of caution and precaution. And so therefore, if we were to increase that limit of, say, up to $1,000 without getting verbal quotes, that it should go through a different step process, maybe not the verbal quotes. But if, say, Tyler wants to buy something at the DPW that's $1,200, that we have a purchasing officer agent, which would be probably Karen, and he would have to get permission, or he couldn't just go and spend more money necessarily, but he would have to come and get permission to spend more money for those items that are escalating in cost because of the economy of the world today and the cost of doing business basically or whatever. So,
Just about everything. Probably some,
right.
a simple repair is over $1,000.
Yeah, we know.
So the threshold is too low for today's.
Yeah.
For certain things or whatever,
I
and
know,
not,
I know, I understand what you're saying.
but not for everything. And,
You're-
you know,
you're
it
also-
probably doesn't affect the village, obviously.
And there could be, like, even if you kept the threshold at 1,000, then you could say between 1,000 and whatever, 2,500. You have this double approval approach. And then anything over 2,500, you have to get bids. I made up those numbers, so I don't.
Yeah, that,
Right.
that's what's in here. That, but the bottom line gotta change. That's thousand ways to run.
So I do have one
I
question.
don't know if the numbers are in here, but that was in there other than.
I didn't know what they wanted to change it to, but I got was to change that.
So. I'm reading mostly about purchase contract, which is the purchase of items. What about services? Just services, professional services, are they falling within this?
Professional services.
They're
bill.
listed under exceptions at the bottom of page 1.
Exception, purchase, professional services, okay,
I'm
all
sorry.
right.
Can you help me find that thing?
On page 1, down here at the bottom, you see the exceptions. So purchases under state and county contracts, like we just talked about. This would be where we would add to this list what Paul is suggesting.
All right,
Emergency purchases, which we've done or whatever, of course, obviously professional services, things like that. Did you have a question too?
Yeah.
Okay,
My proposal is going to be that we during, especially because now we have some time. For all of us to look at Office of the State Comptroller guidance document. Called the Seeking Competition in Procurement Local Government Management Guide Operating Series. This one, and there is a to date. I've read 2016, this may be the 2016, but that was years ago. And it provides this that we have was taken, utilized a template that they provide in a section of that guide. Where they were covering all the topics you need to cover. So the whole report is 38 pages. In terms of the management guide's most relevant sections, I have taken them out and looked at them. One of the things that I think is important for me is that the guidance around professional services is different than I have been led to believe, and it is certainly not exempt. You know, professional service can involve significant dollar expenditures, and localities generally must include in the procurement policies and procedures a proposal or quotation process to ensure that these procurements are made in the most favorable terms and conditions. You know, I started going through this, and before I went back to the management guide and took them, looked at them side by side, and there's, you know, things missing. And where we say there are procedures, I don't read procedures. I see lists of things, so I will propose and now discuss whether we are willing to do that reading as we look at this document.
You have links you can share with everybody?
Yeah, I didn't take the 38-page report here tonight. I have certain pages that I can work with you on to identify, you know, which sections I think are the most relevant. So.
So
I
Ted,
know there's a link on
with
blind.
professional services, that is not something that has to go up to bid, correct?
Good, correct.
Okay,
Right.
so
And go out.
if anything can go out to bid, but it doesn't have to, and it's not obligatory that we do, and we haven't as a village, so I don't want
You
to
can set up your own
Yes.
rules about that.
rules about
Correct.
how you're gonna deal with
That's
it.
fine. I don't want it
even though
to
it's
sound
not-
like we've
yeah.
been not following the proper procedures in the past.
Perfect
So I'm
example is
bringing it up
taking your vehicle to a thing and it's gonna be over. So, yeah, I mean,
Well,
that's
you just had for the
the
bucket truck.
electrician comes in and they find a meter.
That was diagnosing for 5 days almost to try to find the problem with our aerial lift.
No.
And after 5 days,
You can't
that's
write
all
enough,
labor. You
you
can't,
can't write enough things in there to
Right.
take care of
Can't.
it.
without
Certainly
asking
don't
how much.
take and share
I
with
mean,
everybody and see what we need to
Absolutely.
consider and maybe
So, right, if
incorporate.
you could at least give us a link.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll work on.
Yeah, we can
providing
get the
that.
links. We're in good shape because the
No
point is, we
problem.
do have some time before this all has to be approved for in New York State, that we're looking at this, and we are. That's what this is about. So we need to really dig in.
Just, at least it shows we're working on it, and that it's under review. It's not a matter that having to be
No.
approved by a deadline. It's just that we're
No.
keeping it, they're working documents, and that we're showing that we are
And we have our,
periodically updating them.
when we have our annual meeting, that's why we're going through these policies. Is that one of the questions is that we have reviewed those policies, and that is not necessarily that we are reviewing them. And that doesn't necessarily mean that we aren't in the process of changing them or updating them, doing whatever word you want to say to the policy. But we can say for factual that we have reviewed them because we have, and we are working on them. So just like cybersecurity, which we haven't come back to visit just yet, just like this is going to be something working on it. It's not going to be decided just like with a snap of a finger. But at least when we have that question, we can honestly say, yes, we have reviewed the policies and we are actually working on them and doing something about them.
And the other part, and I'll be
Update.
candid with you, because Karen and I talk about this, and I basically say, Karen, keep pushing him at us, because we need to basically look before we get down the road too far anyway.
Right.
Because it's really sort of our
Well, it's been
responsibility.
a lot of years
Have to do.
since they were looked at or adjusted or
Yeah.
changed, and I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I'll be glad to look at what you can send us to
Yeah.
see what we might want to incorporate or we might not want to incorporate, but at least
Thank you
it'll
for-
be.
I was
Letting us
working
know
on this today, so
Yeah.
didn't put together any kind of packet. It was, you know, I was like, oh,
I know how that
No,
works.
it's all good.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Vacation buyback. So we have, within the fire and EMS department, we have 9 people that are requesting as per the contract. Their unused time.
Yep, they're unused, time off to
Turn
either
that,
be converted to sick or cashed out in some instances as per the contract. That's what it is.
so
Bring it
now,
in front of the board as we do annually, just to be sure that everybody's aware and. Agree.
so we need a motion to approve the buyback requests and or transfer to sick time for the 9 fire EMS people that qualify and have requested it in writing to the village, and Karen has their names and their letters.
You get their names and their letters.
Yeah,
Correct.
so moved by Casey,
I'll second.
second by Mark. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
In
Uh,
addition to that department, just
Yeah.
to point out, there are 2 that are not under contractual.
So we'd like to do
Okay.
those separately,
Yeah.
as not even together, but as 2 separate. They're under the
Right, they're
union
under the
contract.
union
So one is the chief who would like to sell back 2 weeks of unused vacation and bank any remaining unused vacation into his sick bank of time. So if you have so many weeks of vacation, 4 to 5 weeks, I think it is, you can actually, if you haven't used your vacation time, you can sell it back as this was even before like union contracts and things like that existed.
Okay.
So
Cash it out.
so you can cash it out, not sell it back, whatever. You cash out your vacation time, you don't.
Or you're just getting it in pay.
You're getting in
versus-
pay because you didn't take the time off
Right.
or whatever, and you're not planning on using it. So a motion for the chief to do
I
that.
move.
Moved by Dan,
Second.
seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
And then,
And the same for
This-
Ryan
for
Amen,
Ryan
who's the
Amen.
medical director. At the EMS side. He
he just wants to bank his time, right? Karen?
in his case, he just wants to do just that, any unused vacation or personal line be transferred into his sick bank.
So moved.
Second,
Second, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
And then for the DPW, we have Dan Way who wants to sell his 1 week vacation back
He
to
wants
us.
to cash out.
Cash out his. Wants us to buy him off a week. Yeah.
So he has 40 hours of.
Maybe he wants a
unused
vacation.
He has 40 hours of.
So
unused
So he
vacation.
qualifies in that 4 to 5 week vacation time frame. So all in favor?
Aye.
And then Jay, I don't know what Jay's first name is.
John.
John Leonardo,
Leonardo, he has 1 week of vacation that he would like to carry over.
actually more specifically, 15 hours.
For 15 hours? Okay.
That he unused vacation that he'd like to carry over, which per the contract is allowed as long as it's used by March 31st.
so move,
Does he know that? Mark's there.
Yeah.
I told him that we were gonna make sure you know about it. Yep,
So
moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
And then our clerk, Karen Shepherdson, has asked to carry over
1 week's
1
vacation.
week's 40
40
hours.
hours.
So moved.
Next year.
Thank you.
I'm working her too hard, she has no time for vacation.
Yes,
All
we do think vacations are.
all in favor?
You can use it then. Thank you for that.
Okay,
So I think that's all of those.
that's all that we've had requests for. And
We missed them.
oh, who
Motion.
moved for Karen? Was it Casey?
Yes.
Second.
And Jane.
Thank
seconded.
you. Okay.
Thank you. All right, Dan, you have anything? for me?
Yeah. Michelle Middleton, unfortunately, for the village of Fayetteville, has decided to resign her position as director supervisor for the recreation committee. At this point, I mean, I'm regretting it because the amount of time she puts in for what she gets paid. The previous one, the same way. They all work hard, put in a lot of time. They probably end up with 50 cents an hour, but I got paid coaching, but the love is there. And that's what it is. So love of the village. So I certainly, just telling you that because we don't have any operation on it. Because she's not really employed by us, she's employed by recreation. But certainly with regrets that she is leaving.
When she's leaving,
Pardon me.
when is she leaving?
I think March first of.
Oh.
So for
So,
next
yeah,
season.
she's gonna be around to help us get things going. At this point, I'm considering some other options, for someone to lead that, we currently, there isn't someone who, if you know, the person is not employed by the village. But I am getting some information from the Village of Manlius, who has a full-time, not a full-time, recreation director. A full-time person who also does part of the job description of this director. So I'm considering 2 or 3 or 4 different things, which hopefully I'm going to share with everybody at the next meeting.
What is the Recreation Inc. or committee or whatever it's called looking for her replacement, or is this our responsibility?
It's not ours.
It's,
They're separate entities.
I know there's
it's
separate
theirs,
entity.
but, and, you know, we've supported it. Quite a bit, so I think that's why Dan feels that if he can assist them, especially as the liaison, that he would do so.
It is a not-for-profit, correct?
Correct, that's my knowledge.
And they have their own sources of funding that we don't know anything about, correct?
Well,
And
We're one of them.
we're one of them, and so are they planning to fill her position? Is that why? But,
I hope they are.
okay,
I mean, you wanna lose summer recreation for?
No.
No,
No,
that's-
Casey loves children.
Yeah.
It's not-
no,
I guess the question is. You're looking at it are you looking at, I guess, what I'm hearing is, are you looking at it from the standpoint of it becoming a village type of position?
That could be one of the possibilities that I
Or-
can throw it.
So you're gonna look
Yeah.
at both options of the recreation
Many options.
organization
Mhm.
filling that position and doing it, or becoming a village
Right.
type of situation, so that's what I was hearing, I'm just
Okay.
clarifying that.
yeah, I was a little confused about that. And then secondly, we can also talk to the town of Manlius, who have recreation staff,
They're full staff.
full-time staff.
Pardon me?
Our.
They have a
town-
full-time.
Our town of Manlius has full-time staff of recreation, so in terms of like exploring different things. Down the line somewhere, if we gotta come and look at this, you know, that may be something to look at too, but because it's a separate organization, I'm not even sure that's relevant. So, anyway,
I think the door's open for lots of
We-
lots of
opportunities.
opportunities.
That was proposed by the town a few years ago. I think maybe before Sarah was there, that was proposed. And Village of Fayetteville people in the village did not want to be part of a town line. So, I mean, things maybe change, maybe they do.
I was only saying that we can talk to them. I wasn't making any kind of a proposal. I don't know what proposal you're referring to. So in terms of information gathering, it seemed like it was worth it, but we'll
Well,
see.
yeah, but I'm close. You're telling, the Village of Manly's just hired someone. So I thought that was current, so I can go.
Great.
Take a look at it. I'm not saying I wouldn't ask the town for help, sure, I'd be happy to have. I'd be happy to have them help us pay for parks. I'd be happy to have them help us pay for
There you go.
there's a lot of places where.
Okay, can we keep going there? Let's just keep going up at the meeting.
Okay, well, I can, want me to keep going then?
No, I made it stop. I'd like you to end.
I listened to a thing about a right of way. And how many right of ways
Well,
are there in this village that nobody knows about?
All right, well, let's talk about what we gotta talk about.
I had to listen to that.
Do you have anything else you want to report for the recreation committee or any other? Or do you have anything else?
All right,
I'm
good.
Good.
all I want to do is want to talk about the two celebrations that we are celebrating and one we already celebrated last Friday. I'm gonna steal your thunder a little bit, Mike, and I apologize.
That's right. That's why I go last, so I don't have to say much.
But our Christmas tree lighting with the weather was just phenomenal. We had a really wonderful time with the wagon rides for everybody. And there was never point during the time period where the Reagan rides were available that somebody was not standing in line for. It was really quite interesting. I know Mike, Jane and I were all outside the entire time and Danny had to do other things also, so we appreciate that. And it was really nice to be able to be out there and to see how the kids smile and what was going on. It was really sort of special to understand the holiday season. The other part that I want to point out too is that Mike already let us know that the menorah lighting is going to be occurring on December 15th at 5:30. And that's going to be quite special as well. Many people just looking forward to that event very much so. So thank you, Mike, for getting that put together.
Can you say that again, December?
December
Monday,
15th.
December 15th at
Okay.
5:30, and it's next door in the corner of the fire department.
Right.
Did the rabbi send you any other information? Sometimes he usually sends.
He was
kind of
gonna
flyer
send something
details.
so that I could do that. I'll have to text him tomorrow and
So,
Wait,
I'll end up there and say thank you, Mike.
Last year, the publicity wasn't out there. A lot of people that missed them.
I noted it on the website, but I was waiting for details so we can push it out on social media and on his behalf. I think the rabbi also has his own form of.
Yeah.
Advertising.
Rabbi
Like we're
seems a
kind of-
little overwhelmed.
I believe it's on the news.
For
He had it
this,
on the
for
news
this one?
last year. I don't know about this year, but
He's pretty good about getting the word out in his own manner,
Yeah.
and then we just try to supplement what he's already started.
Yeah, but so many times he says he's gonna do this, and this.
No, I know.
So, I mean,
He's running the
yeah,
show, and
and I-
unfortunately, if I don't get the information, it's hard to push it out.
What we need is a publicity person. We get nothing written in the Eagle Bulletin about our tree lighting, except a little sliver underneath.
I think Jason does pretty good about trying to highlight things that we do.
In the village?
Yes.
Okay, well, you and I
Okay,
guess can talk about that sometime.
you've all had your turns, Casey.
Tree Commission. Karen and I had a great meeting last week, and it's been a couple of different times that we have talked about the Tree City application that we have to do every year, and it was by December 2nd. So kind of the Tree Commission, you can look at on a calendar year a little bit better. It's a good time for collecting data. And our report showed between last year and this year, much more increase in funding, increased volunteer efforts, and our precision on some of the things related to how many trees would take down, all that stuff, but definitely our planting was up. I see opportunities for us organizing the collecting of that data a little bit more, even within the Tree Commission itself, because we're pretty impressive in terms of our tree work in a number of different ways. And I think I want it on paper so I can put it in grant writing someday. So working on that. And they have their last meeting of the year this Wednesday. Second, Jane and I had a really great meeting with the Syracuse Metropolitan Transportation Council on Friday for 2 hours, which is an impressive amount of time for us to give. And the amount of work that they have done on the analysis is also above and beyond. They kind of said, yeah, we're really going a little extra here, which we were both very appreciative of. The lead SMTC staff person is Thomas Barnett, and he commented that it was like you were talking to someone who lived in the village. We'd refer to some portion of road, you would know exactly what we're talking about, the dynamics of that site. It's not worth talking about the data. We have 31 pages of data. It needs some tweaking. So what we can expect in terms of next steps is Thomas will be writing the sort of narrative part of the technical report. We do not have a draft yet on traffic calming measures. And he expects to do that in January, but maybe by the end of January, he'll have that before us. I see that we may, it's not really on them, but opportunities for communication with the residents, I think are going to be something we'll want to build on. Because the data does show that some of the things we have as perceptions of what's happening in our village are not true. The
Are
data,
not what?
some of our perceptions
Are not being supported by the
by the
data.
data.
Right, okay.
And so it's gonna be important for us to convey that in a permanent way on our website, things like that. So when people have that, talk about those things, which people talk about a lot, we'll have some communication materials for them, at some point. So there'll be a piece of work that I don't expect they're gonna do, but we may have to do. So it was really good. And then, when I was reading over the minutes, I'm looking at things for follow-up. Did we contact the county about, the orchards right of way? When Mr. Carson was here last time about that the tree issues?
Right, so I reached out to Mark Wilson, who reached out to the county highway department head. You know his name, I can't think of it now, Marty, yeah. And he said that the county didn't have problems. I mean, we don't know the exact right of way, so what's been used as a rule of thumb in the village for right of way is between the sidewalk and the street. At the right of way may go inside of the sidewalk. On Genesee Street, the right of way for Genesee Street probably is inside this building. So just in general terms of,
Sitting in the right of way?
yeah, pretty much, I'm thinking.
He does have a point. I know he does.
So that's New York State, not the county. But I did ask because I don't recall asking, as I told you in our conversations, I don't recall asking the county for permission about planting on a county road or the state. Mark said that he does recall something about maybe asking the state on Manlius Street when we've put trees in there. But I just got a letter about the new person, Betsy, that's gonna take over the state. So, you know, that's somebody I can reach out to and ask her specifically about that.
She's been around.
Yeah, and she would know,
Is DOT?
no,
Yeah,
Betsy,
Betsy,
Parmalee.
yeah, Betsy Parmalee, state DOT.
Yeah, state DOT. With the county, as long as we do the digs, all the things that we do, the dig safe and all the things that we do to when we are going to plant trees. And as long as they are off the road and the different things, they respect our judgment on that stuff and they don't need specifically to come and give us permission to do that. So I would say at the Orchard condominiums, if you were to draw that imaginary sidewalk that ends up through there, we could plant between the sidewalk and the street. Even though there isn't a sidewalk there, but you know, somewhere's in that ballpark, we can measure back to the sidewalk or down the street and figure that out. We can't take down their trees and or replace their blocking of trees that they have there, which is what I think he was looking.
Decide, how do we decide where trees go? Because each tree costs money, so how do we decide who gets the tree?
Well, if they're take a look. and see
Well,
if you
some of
can
it
figure
is in our plan because they gave us location,
site.
planning sites. Some of it is where trees come down and people want a different tree. And this year, the new approach of asking people to take care of the trees has helped that and hindered that part of the process. Hindered it, not in a bad way, but I mean, like.
People admitted they didn't want to take care of them.
They didn't want to take care of them or whatever and stuff. So we've kind of done it that way. We haven't. So it's usually in the past, it's been done by request or by a known location that maybe the tree was taken down 2 or 3 years ago and maybe there isn't a request, but we know that's a spot that could have a tree. Sometimes that's typically how it's been handled in the past. Now we have the plan. And the plan does indicate, right, places where they
indicates
could be
planting sites.
planting sites
Yeah.
in the plan, so.
But we have work to do. We have work to do.
Right.
In terms of W's knowledge on the ground is really important. And so there's some things that are captured in the planting sites. The HOAs were not extracted from the data collection process. So that's something we're gonna have to look at. And I wanna make sure that the DPW's input is incorporated into the list of planting sites. And Okay, so that's one thing. There is a lot of work we have ahead of us, and one other thing is that, I went to a meeting with tree people and, Village of Liverpool gave a great presentation. They have a really solid approach. And they do it by quadrant, and then routinely they broke their village up into 5 sectors, and then this year we'll do this sector, this year we'll do this sector. So they do that, but they also don't do what we are trying to do and make sure people want to take care of them. So there's different models to look at, and I'm open to input on those things. All of us tree people, I think, are, and
Well, you've definitely brought something to life that was kind of needed so that's good.
I totally agree.
Yeah,
yeah, and I can't say enough about the tree commission members. We all feel very lucky to have magically been brought together. And they have a lot of interest in many things related to our trees. And our work with DPW is really, really important. So solicitor permit with the town? Do we?
I'm still looking into
Okay.
some more feedback from the other villages and stuff.
That's all. I'm done.
Okay. Anybody else in the audience that do anything?
Wanted to thank everyone, and especially you, for the village party.
Oh,
Thought everyone had a good time and everybody's help was greatly appreciated. And I think all the board members definitely appreciate being
Okay.
appreciated.
good. I was glad some of the tree people could be there too.
We had great representation of HBC, Tree Commission, people from other commissions. It was really great to have some DPW staff there too. Which we didn't have all of our, but it was really nice.
I know it's
Very
hard
generous.
this time of year to do all that.
Yeah.
So the other thing I have is to reiterate the menorah Monday, the 15th at 5:30 next door. So hopefully everybody can make that. Just in regards to the tree lighting and the village party, I want to thank the DPW, fire department, Karen, and the rec department for and then all of you for participating in both of those events to make them all successful and have everybody have a good time and enjoy themselves and a nice evening out of visiting and talking to each other. I thought this year at the Christmas party, it was nice to see people actually like make a plate of food and sit down at tables and talk to each other as opposed to just standing and wandering around and doing stuff. So it kind of was fun.
Yeah, I did that too.
Kelly upstairs in the courtroom had some very active games that she liked to play. So she brought a little bit of different types of entertainment this year, which I think was well received
Is
by
that-
the public and
think
it
so,
was
too.
nice or whatever to do that. So thanks to Kelly also for her decorating and her flamingo theme for the Christmas party. And I think that's all I have.
Bringing life to the party.
Yeah.
I motion to adjourn.
I'll second the motion.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Very good.